Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to my new video. My name's AJ. I'm here to talk about a few Chinese issues, especially this one, how China is helping to fuel record high inflation. So you can see China is still being blamed for record high inflation. Where's the blame to the US and all of US's policies? Where is the blame to the Ukrainian war? Where is the blame to NATO? Where is the blame to Europe? It's all China's fault, isn't it? So before I start talking about this subject, I want to give you guys a quick update. As you know, all of my time has been taken up following the Ukrainian war. And as many of you know, I'm still working full time. So I can only do a few videos or a day, so it takes up a lot of my time, so I don't have time to focus on the China channel as well as the Ukrainian stuff as well. I try and do both. Sometimes when I try to add Chinese subjects in the Ukrainian war whenever there's an issue with China. So those of you who have followed me to the new channel, I hope you guys are enjoying it. But I can see from the numbers, there's about 2,000 of you who have actually followed me to the new channel. There's still 10,000 of you remaining. And I'm probably estimating that the 10,000 of you who are still here, you guys probably haven't moved over to the new channel yet. And probably most of you are part-time watchers of YouTube. Maybe you don't see much of my updates. I'm not sure. But try and move to the new channel when you can. It's very much appreciated. So, those of you who don't know, I raised the new channel for a number of reasons, because I thought I was being shadow banned. And all of my suspicions have come to fruition, because, as soon as I opened the new channel, it's been a few months, and my channel has already reached around close to 19,000 followers. This is only a few months. And this Chinese channel, which I've had over a year, is still stuck at 12,000. It's not really moving much. And so that's an issue. That's the reason I created a new channel. And I wanted to have a wider audience, not just Chinese members, but people from all walks of lives, different countries. So I wanted to have a channel which I talk about world geopolitics, about everything geopolitics. And it's worked, because I get a very diverse group of followers from all different walks of life, all different countries. So it's much easier for me to make people understand China and educate them on China when I have a more diverse customer base. And this is why I need you guys' help. My original customers are Chinese. I started this channel purely based on a Chinese channel, and I started this channel for one reason, because I did it for my friend, to be honest. My friend actually got beaten up. He got put into a coma. He was the victim of a racial attack in England. So he's okay now. He's out of the coma. He's back, back with his family, which is really good news. But the fact is, I started this channel because of him. And I got interested in China, and I wanted to, I did a lot of research about China. I wanted to travel there, and then the COVID stuff happened, and I couldn't really travel there to China. And I was still, interested in China, even though I'm not Chinese. And so I was following a lot of reports. And the more and more I started looking into China, the more I was studying China, about its history, about its way of life, and following lots of Chinese channels and watching a lot of CGTN. I've learned a lot about China over the past year or so, and I've learned so much. And I feel I can give a lot of my knowledge to make people understand who have a negative view about China in England and, or anyone around the world. And I can do that with the channel if I have a diverse, customer base. And even though I talk about worldly events, sometimes I do talk about Chinese news as well. And I can see from the comment section that there's a lot of people still have an issue with China, even though a lot of people who support this war in Ukraine, they support Putin. And I'm talking about Americans and Western people. They say, yeah, this is NATO, this is we support Putin, we are on Russia's side. But as soon as I post a story saying nice things about China, these same people are like, they're completely against China. I just don't understand why. How can you be supporting Russia and be completely against the way Russia is being treated by the West, completely against Europe, completely against America? They can see all of the lies that America and Europe's been spreading about Russia and the Ukrainian war. How can you be completely against that? But when it comes to China, you have a completely different switch. Like, for example, when I talk about Uyghurs being locked up and, when I said that all of that stuff is lies, all of that stuff is make-believe, it's just Western stories. When I say things like that, they just don't believe me. They said, no, man, China really is holding millions of people in concentration camps. And I'm thinking, hang on a second. When you have a story such as Ghost of Kiev shooting down 40 Russian planes, that's all over these Western papers, and you have a hard time believing that story. But when it comes to China, you believe anything that the West says. I mean, look, you need to look at yourself. You can't just pick and choose what to believe. If the West lies about one thing, you can lie about everything. These stories about Uyghurs, it's all fake, it's all false. You need to go to Xinjiang and see for yourself. And a lot of people are still brainwashed by China. So this is what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to kind of build up a very good, diverse customer base, and then I can spread my message to more people and make people understand more, and also you guys can interact with them as well. The problem with having a channel with only Chinese supporters is, it's not diverse. You can't put your message across to Western people because they look at your channel and they think it's Chinese propaganda. And also YouTube blocks a lot of Chinese propaganda channels, and you can see a lot of channels who are not growing. People like Firm Bue, people like what's that channel? That Difference Frames the World, and many other channels, Chinese specific channels. They're just not growing because they've all been shadow banned. So this is what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to be as neutral as possible with my stories. So I talk about everything around the world, not just China, but also Ukrainian war and any events that's happening around the world. But my love for China has not disappeared. It's always there. And whenever Chinese topics come up, I'm here to stand up for China, and make people understand, what real China is about, make people understand the real story, and also tell them the truth. And that's what I want to do, and that's my main goal. So the new channel has already reached around 19,000. So if you haven't moved over across, try and move over across when you can, because there's still a lot of people in the chat who have a misunderstanding about China, and you guys can also kind of make them understand as well in the comment section. And sometimes if I'm there in the comment section, I will do my bit, but I also need your help as well. So why am I saying all of this? It's because I've had a couple of Patreon members who are Chinese, and they've recently cancelled their membership with me. So obviously they haven't sent me any messages or anything like that. So I just want to kind of let you guys know that I'm not going anywhere. My channel is still the same as it was, except it has grown. Rather than talking about Chinese geopolitics, I talk about the world geopolitics. But my love for China has not changed. My knowledge about China has not changed. I still, research China topics. I still research everything about China. My channel and my knowledge about the world has actually grown, and much more. I'm still here to support China. I'm still here to stand up for China for any lies that goes around. I get still very upset when people are lying about China or they don't understand China. I still get upset about that. So the whole point of me, doing this is so I can get more followers and I can, have more people which I can make understand if they don't have a clear understanding about China or certain issues, and that's my job to make them understand. So I'm still small end of the day, 19,000 in my worldly channel and 12,000 in this channel. It's still not a big number. It's still very, very small compared to, other bigger channels. There's other huge channels out there. And when I talk about the Ukrainian war, there's you got people like Alexander Mercurius, you have Duran, and yeah, they know a lot about Russia, they know a lot about geopolitics, but these guys, they don't know anything about China. When it comes to Chinese topics, I find that they really struggle, and they really struggle about China. Because Alexander Mercurius and the guy in Duran, they seem to be Russian specialists. They know a lot about Russia. But when it comes to China, when it comes to understanding about China, they're lacking. So this is where I come in. If I have knowledge about the world, if I talk about the Ukrainian war and a topic comes up about China, I am best placed to discuss that topic. And I guarantee you, when this war starts prolonging itself, when this war drags on, people in the West will start getting bored. All of the papers will start getting bored. They're going to start looking at making new headlines, and they're going to go back to kicking China again. And it's already started. I mean, look at this article, how they're blaming China for the inflation. This has already started now. China has had a few months of rest while the West was focused on Russia, focused on Ukraine. China has had a few months of rest, but the past year or 2 years, especially since Trump, China was on the front page news every single day, and it's negative news as well. Every single day they were on front page news. One day it's about Uyghurs, next day it's about Hong Kong, next day it's about Taiwan, next day is about President Xi. But, it just goes on, all of these lies and lies and lies. And now the West is focused on Russia. China has had a bit of a breather, but I tell you what, I can see, the West is getting bored with Russia now. They need a new story, and they're just going to go back to kicking China again, and they're going to be going back to how they were, and probably even worse, because they wanted China to support them in Russia, in the Ukrainian war. But why would China support the West in this Ukrainian war? Why? Did anybody from the West come to Beijing Olympic Games? They were too busy boycotting China. Russia is Chinese President Xi's friend. Why should China backstab its own friend? So basically the West will take down Russia, and once Russia's been taken down, they'll come for China after that. Do they think Chinese people are really stupid? It doesn't work like that. And definitely they will start coming after China. And you can see from this article, how China is helping fuel record high inflation. I'll tell you what the inflation is. So this all happened with the Trump war, trade war against China. Before that, everything was fine. The world's economy was fine. There was no issues with gas prices, electricity prices. There was no issues around the world. There was no problems with supply chains. And all they had to do is just keep things as they were. Why start a trade war with China? And people were warning the Americans at the time, if you start a trade war with China, it's going to affect the world economy. And look at the world economy now. It's a shambles. All because of that trade war. If they had a problem with China, then you got to solve it diplomatically. Not start a bloody trade war. That's not going to lead to any place. America was doing fine at the time. And the only people who have suffered from this trade war is the Americans themselves and the American people. Because if you think about it, You know, most of the goods they buy from China, and these are cheap goods. And then if they're gonna start putting all of these tariffs in it, then the inflation is gonna rise because you're paying more for Chinese goods. And if inflation rises, if the costs start rising, then everything else around the world will start rising. You know, then they started all of these ridiculous rules and putting Chinese companies in blacklists. You know, trying to put limits on China, trying to put down China in every opportunity. And they've been doing it for years, and they've literally destroyed their own economy because of it. I mean, look, it's not affected China. You can see by the GDP growth. China is still growing. If you compare China's 4.8% this quarter, America has been shrinking. 1.4% they have shrunk. And look at UK, 0.1% they have increased this GDP. So who's really suffering in the world economy? It's the West, not China. You know, you can't just blame China for all of these high inflation. Most of it is American policies which have caused this. American policies have increased the oil prices, increased the gas prices, pushed Russia into a war with Ukraine. All of this is America's fault. It's nothing to do with China. You know, the blame game has already started. So, anyway guys, that's all I wanted to say for now. And don't forget, do not leave my Patreon. Your support is very, very important to me. If there's an issue, you can contact me directly or privately message me. I'm willing to talk to you guys. If you have obviously money problems, then obviously that's different. Then, you know, I can't force you guys to support me. So just do what you can. That's all I'm asking. I haven't gone anywhere. I'm still here. You know, there's only so many hours in a day. If I can work full time on YouTube videos, trust me, I would make one video for the Chinese market, one video for the Western market, one video for the UK market, one video for films and videos. You know, I just don't have the time. I'm working full time. So this is why I need the support. This is why I need to build up the followers so I can be independent and I can do YouTube full time. At the moment I can't unless I get the support. So that's all I have time for you guys. Let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you soon on the next video.